Hi guys, it's Erin. Today I want to talk you through all of the different types of seed that I'm going to be starting this month of January. Now I live in the Pacific Northwest, Zone 8B, and my last frost date is April 7th or 8th. So what that means is my dates may be different from yours, depending on what your zone is and what your last frost date is. So make sure, I'll give you the weeks before last frost that I'm basing this off of, so that if you want to start the similar seeds at the similar time, you'll just have to base it off of your last frost date. So if you watch recent videos, you'll see that I've already started a couple different types, three different types of seed. I've already started eucalyptus and lisianthus, and I've already started echinacea seed. The echinacea was mostly the winter sowing and getting a really early start on it. Perennials work a little bit different than annuals. The eucalyptus and the lisianthus are in the 12 to 14 weeks before your last frost time frame. So that's why I've already started those. I do need to caution, there are several different groups of lisianthus. So the group ones that I started, there was Voyage to Champagne, a Lizadora apricot, and a Corelli pink. Those three, they're all in that group one, and they want to grow cooler. They want shorter day lengths when they're growing and blooming. So those ones really need to be started early in order to have a good crop of them, because once it gets hot and the days get really long, they're not going to be happy. But there are two or three more groups of lisianthus, and some of them want to be grown a little bit later on. So really make sure that you're reading your seed packets and understanding which ones you should be growing at the time. I started two different kinds of eucalyptus, the baby blue and, I can never pronounce it. Hold on. It's Terraticornis. I don't know how to say it, but it's just the two different types that I'm growing this year, two different leaf shapes, and hopefully they'll have really beautiful, good sized plants by the time I put them out, so that they grow really well and I can get good sized plants to cut from in the later part of the season. Both of these plants are cut and come again, which means you cut it and it'll just, anytime you cut a branch or a flower off, generally they will sprout new from that point and put out more flowers, and you just keep cutting on them until they're fizzled out for the season, or if it frosts or whatever is in the eucalyptus category. Echinacea, I've already started the echinacea, and that's a perennial. Like I said, I wanted to try the winter sowing method again, and I really wanted to have an early crop of good sized plants to put out in the garden, because the earlier you start them, sometimes perennials will not actually bloom the first year, but if you start them as early as I am, there's a good chance that they will. I've had really good luck, especially with echinacea, getting blooms the first season off of starting them from seed, but that's because I start them as early as I do. I'm also planning in that same window, so that should be coming up really quick, to start Iceland poppies. If you don't know what these are, most people know what a poppy is, but these in particular are cool flowers, but they're annuals. A lot of poppies, you can just scatter some seed out, especially where we live, and they will grow and bloom. But these in particular, they're a little more fidgety, and I need to grow them from seed in a seed tray to have good results with them. These are also a cut and come again. The more you cut them, the better they'll get, and their stems start off kind of short, and they get longer as they go if they're happy. There is a chance that some of these might actually be perennial in my area, because we're such a high zone. So I'm going to actually put a couple in the garden just to see what happens, see if they come back year over year. That'd be pretty amazing. These in particular are a pastel mix. They're a really, really great cut flower. They don't have the longest vase life, but if you treat them properly and you do the correct post-harvest care, you can get a good, decent vase life. And I'll take you guys along when we start doing that, because it's different than everything else that I do. It's one of the one-off type post-harvest care. I want to show you guys, because it's a lot of fun, what it takes to get the longest vase life out of them once I harvest them. Going back, so the eucalyptus should be viable to cut stems from in late June, July, all the way up until a frost. So depending on how cold the spring is, obviously that could delay it a little bit, but starting them this early, I'm hoping to get a good early enough crop to be useful. The echinacea, I imagine late July, August to get flowers. The lisianthus, these guys, I'm hoping, I have a wedding in July, and I'm hoping that's late June through July time frame is when they will be blooming, and they'll be at their peak and beautiful. And then the Iceland poppies, they have a pretty short days to maturity time, so they should be ready in May, which is a really good time in between when the ranunculus are going and finishing up, and it's a really good time to have that kind of hardy annual going. Okay, so that's the first batch that I've already started, and I'm gonna finish up here in the next week. And like I said, I'll take you along, show you. I can't wait to show you these poppy seeds. They are the tiniest little like flecks of dust. They're just itty bitty. Okay, and then the next batch that I'm gonna start this month are in that 8 to 10 week time frame of weeks before your last frost. These are. So I'm going to start some Foxglove. Most Foxglove are biennials, but these ones, this is the pink gin. These are a first year bloomer. So I'm going to get those going so that I can plant them out early in the season. Foxglove are a medium producer, which means they put out one really good strong stem, and then they will once you cut that stem, they will put out more, but it's kind of slower. And they don't put a lot out. They don't keep getting bigger. So I intend to just grow these as a one crop flower, not once they bloom and I get my flowers from them, I'm gonna pull them and replant the bed with something else. The next one that I'm gonna grow this in January in that time frame is Snapdragons. Now I did start Snapdragon seeds back in the fall. I have yet to plant them out. However, they're growing really well. They're in the greenhouse. I just potted them up to 4-inch containers. So they should be good through February, and sometime in March I'll probably plant them out, and they will have a good robust root system by then, which will be fantastic. I'll kind of get 3 rotations with these. So I've got that group, and then I'm gonna start another 4 trays, I think, of the same varieties of Snapdragons, which are, I have them written down. I have Double Frap Light Pink, Potomac Early Sunrise, Costa Apricots, Chantilly Light Pink, and Chantilly Cream. I'm going to grow all of those. I'll start them now and get them going and plant them out. And a month from now, I'm going to start another round of the same, I'm going to start another round of the later season Snapdragons. Snapdragons, like lisianthus, have three or 4 groups, and there's the early season, the mid-season, and then the later season varieties. The seedlings that I've already started and this round are all the early season varieties, and then I will start in a month another round that have all the later season varieties, the Madam Butterflies and the other gorgeous ones that will grow later. And it'll give me a succession sowing. Now, the Snapdragons are also a medium producer type. They will give you multiple stems. The stems tend to thin for me later on in the season. They get more brittle, shorter, all that stuff. So I intend also with these to do one planting in each space and then pull them once I get my first round of flowers and plant something else, most likely sunflowers. I'm going to do a lot of sunflowers this year. Okay, and then the last seedlings that I'm going to start in January are sweet peas. I have 3 different varieties that I've landed on as my favorites. I have Molly Realstone, which is sort of it's a soft peachy pink color that I absolutely adore. Blue Shift, which is a really cool one that turns When it first blooms, it's a purple, like almost an iridescent purple. It's really great. And as the bloom ages, it turns blue, like an electric blue. So that it's just gorgeous. I love that flower so much. And then the last one that I'm going to grow is called Oban Bay. It's a light blue, white flower on really long stems, and the flowers are huge. They're not just a tiny little airy accent in a bouquet. They will be the star of the show. They're just the best. And they produce so many flowers. Sweet peas are definitely a cut and come again. They will just keep going. They do peter out once the weather gets too warm, but here you can actually grow them starting in the fall as a hardy annual and have them bloom earlier in the season, in the spring. I've had good luck with that, and I've also had not so good luck with that. So this year I just erred on this side of starting them in January and planting them out. I actually have a couple that are still growing from last year's garden that, because we haven't frozen yet, they're still there. Like they're still out there. They're still blooming. I think this coming week or so, we're supposed to get some freezing temperatures, so that'll change. And the sweet peas, I should have blooms from them in mid to late April, because they don't take very long. Once you get them in the ground, I'll start them now, and by the time I'm putting them out in probably March, they'll already be big and bushy and pretty tall. And I'll get them in the ground, and it won't take much time at all before we have a good crop starting to come on. And they will, like I said, they will just keep blooming all the way up until it gets too warm for them. So those are all the different types of seeds that I'm going to start this January. Like I said, if you want to start your seeds at the same timeline, then just do the math back the number of weeks from your last frost date. Mine is April 7th or 8th, so yours will, depending on when it is, will adjust accordingly. I just love January for this part. It's time to start the actual seeds. I spent all the time prior planning and cleaning out the gardens and getting it all ready so that when it's time to start seedlings, it's ready. And it's all about planning up until this point. And now I can actually get seeds in the dirt and start watching them grow. And it's so good. It feeds me in some way. It makes me really, really happy to be doing this right now. So this is all of them that I'm going to grow this month. I'll do another video towards the end of the month that will walk through everything that I'm going to plant in February, and then I'll do the same for March. And the later on it goes, the bigger the list gets. So I'll take you guys along when I actually sow these seeds, and I'll give you the more specific details of, what size cell tray, what depth they want to be sown, if they want to be covered, if they don't, if they're pelleted, if they're not, all of those details, if they want a heat mat, if they want to grow on cool, whatever that is. I'll make sure that you have that information as we go through these. So I'll walk you through all that when we do it. So there's more videos, lots of seed starting videos to come with a lot more in-depth detail, and I'll show you how I do it all. Okay guys, well, I hope this is informative. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.